My name is Rusty. I'm a mechanical engineer, but in my free time I play guitar. I play guitar, I work on guitars, and mess around with pedals and electronics and stuff like that. I started playing guitar when I was 15, which is almost 15 years ago. I've come to appreciate the mechanics behind how guitars work, the electronics that go into capturing the sound that a string makes and then processing and amplifying it and modifying it and things like that. So I'm going to run through some of the guitars I have and tell you a bit about each of them. This is the very first electric guitar I ever owned. I would say originally this was a Cigar Strat, as a Sunburst, and this really, over the years, became my Franken Strat. The first thing I did to it was strip off the finish, which if you've ever done on a guitar, it smells incredible. I mean, it's really, really good, but it's probably absolute poison for your lungs. I stripped off the finish because I wanted to sort of have like a more natural wood finish and then maybe stain it, but I did a terrible job with the sander. So there are some pockets and spots that I missed and stuff, so it's really uneven, but I went ahead and stained it anyways, and it kind of has character, I suppose. Electronics I swapped out a couple of years ago. These are Burns Trisonic pickups. Brian May has these, and I think that's the only reason I decided to put these in this guitar. And I also copied his selector switch, where there's 3 on-off switches, 1 for each pickup. It's an incredibly unique sounding guitar, and I think all of that is derived from the pickups. They sound really, really cool, especially when you start to distort them. It's fun to play. So the second electric guitar that I ever had, this is a PRS SE Custom. One of the things I've changed about this guitar is I wanted to have 2 independent volume controls, 1 for each pickup, so that I could switch quickly between loud sections and soft sections. I put a concentric potentiometer in here. The lower part uses the volume control for the bridge pickup, and then the top part is tone for the overall guitar itself. So the neck pickup on this guitar is original. The bridge pickup is not original. This is a Burstbucker Pro that came from Les Paul that I purchased. And the bridge pickup that was in here, I think, is in a toolbox somewhere. This is a Sterling Music Man bass. Okay, sub-series is what the headstock says. When I got this bass, it had the thickest strings I've ever seen on it, and it was probably tuned, 5 octaves down or something like that. Having a bass around is kind of nice because even after you spend time learning a song on guitar, learning the bass line can really bolster your understanding of the song and how both instruments interact. This is a Rogue 12-string. My uncle gave this to me, I think, 2 years ago. When he gave it to me, the bridge back here was starting to separate from the body of the guitar. I managed to get the bridge off, and then I sanded it and prepped both surfaces of the wood, re-glued it, and then strung it up. And it's the first, I think, maybe the first 12-string I've ever played. Because the bridge had been messed up for so long, I'm very hesitant about trusting my own glue work back here on the bridge, so I keep this tuned down, I think, a step or a half a step, just to try and ease some of the tension on the neck. This is a Gibson SG. I purchased this online as just the body and the neck, which are glued together. There's a vendor that purchases new guitars and then disassembles them and sells them out for parts and somehow manages to make money on that. So I bought this as the body and the neck already glued together, and then every other component I purchased separately so that I could create sort of my own custom SG. 500K pots on the volume and the tone, standard 3-way selector switch. I think Derek Trucks was very much on the top of my mind when I was making this guitar. I read online that he uses 57 classics, the humbuckers, and I really like the sound of his guitar. Once I installed them, they sounded incredible, and I really, really enjoy playing this guitar a lot. This is a 2003 Gibson Les Paul Standard. This is the first and only Les Paul that I've ever owned, and it's extremely heavy. I think it's 13 pounds. I changed a couple of the pots when I got it. I also put 57 classics in this one. When I built my SG, I got those for them. I loved them so much, I bought another pair and put them in here. And I took the original Burstbucker pickups that were in this one and put them in 2 other guitars that I have. I also took off the pickguard scratch plate. I'm not in a punk band, so I'm not worried about it. I think at one point I had a count of 14 guitars, but that includes a mandolin and a ukulele and a cigar box guitar. My brother gave me a cigar box and said, make a guitar out of this, because he knew that I probably could. So I grabbed a 2x4 and I think a hacksaw and a pocket knife or whatever, and I shaved a neck and bolted it into this cigar box, and I had an old pickup from a Telecaster that I put in the bridge, and it made noise. The action was super high, and I just used it for slide. And if you distorted it pretty well, it sounded pretty nice.